Hello, I am Sarah Millican. I wasn't sure if it was recording there. That's that face. And welcome to episode 57 of How to Be Champion Storytime. Now, if you can hear a small amount of clacking in the background, that's because my dog is in the same room and he's given himself a thoroughly good grooming, if you know what I mean. He's just, I mean, it's not, the lipstick's not out, but he is, you know, he's given it a lot of attention. Episode 57, we're still in the middle of my favourite room in the house. Let's crack on. All the time I planted seeds for lupins in our garden, went into the garage for the watering can, came back through and couldn't remember where I'd planted them. They never did come up. Then I did GCSEs, A-levels, college, first job, second job, fell in love, got in married, third job, fourth job, started writing, divorced, comedy, fell in love, more comedy, bought a house. During the last 24 years, I have barely thought about wildlife apart from when killing a spider or running from a wasp. But Gary and I moved to the countryside, and while happily not in the middle of nowhere, chocolate can be purchased after a 15-minute walk, I am in amongst it. And the 7-year-old in me skips with delight when I see any birds or animals in the garden or spy new flowers bursting through. I have a greenhouse and just ate my first courgette I've grown from seed. I came into the house holding it aloft, singing the well-loved Christmas carol, The First Courgette. I still have no idea what I'm doing though. My gardener friend surveyed my potted twigs last January and said, "You know tomatoes don't come back, don't you?" To which I smugly replied, "We'll see," as if I knew something he didn't. That's the dog coughing on his own cock. Oh, wow. Sorry. Sorry? Yeah, sorry. Before we had a garden, we'd seek grass elsewhere. Sorry, not everywhere. That would be weird. Elsewhere. We both lived in all right flats with balconies. I'd moved from my parents' home to Manchester, where it rains 92% of the time. Why did no one tell me how pointless it was to have a balcony? I moved to Manchester for a few reasons. It's a great city where I'd spent some time doing gigs, as the comedy scene there is bustling and full of absolute smashers of comedians. Geographically, it made sense to be further down, more central, but still in the north. Almost everywhere is far away from South Shields, but 2 hours or less in a car from Manchester can get you to Liverpool, York, Birmingham, Nottingham, Hull, Leeds, Bradford, Sheffield, the list goes on. Plus, I noticed a shift. As the train pulled into Piccadilly Station, there was a warm, home-like feeling. New comedy home, new home. In the 6 years I lived there, I only ever went on my balcony if I didn't feel well and needed fresh air quickly. Gary's balcony was out of action due to neighbours who thought outside was their room and would play antisocial levels of shite music at all hours. And yes, it does matter that it was shite music. If it was Wham's I'm Your Man played on a loop, I'd be dancing for the first 36 hours for sure. So we go to the park and lie on the grass and nap. The only thing that distinguished us from dead bodies was a tartan blanket and the odd fart. In fact, Gary once knocked a jogger off his rhythm with one of his farts. The man was running expertly when a well-timed pop caused a wobble before he righted himself, unsure of what had just happened. We knew and tried to do it again on several occasions. Sometimes we'd go to Sutton Park. It's massive and a wonderful place with huge fields, cows, ducks, rabbits and nooks and crannies where you can be alone. There's also a dedicated place for children and middle-aged men to fly their noisy model aeroplanes, presumably so that they can be as noisy as they like without having to worry about other people complaining. Of course, some of those middle-aged men broke the rules and just flew their children's toys wherever they liked. One time Gary and I were having an hour in the park, lying on a blanket, my leg looped through my handbag strap because, you know, people, and I heard it like a wasp in my ear. A fucking remote-controlled airplane. First of all, we checked to see if we were near the special, noisy, whirring, middle-aged men place. We weren't. They were on our patch. The quiet, please don't bother us, yes, we're napping place. Furious that our silence was broken, that our nap was looking unlikely, that our hour of quiet in a busy, crazy busy week was ruined, I sat up. I thought, they'd better be fucking kids. I looked around and spotted the culprits pretty far away. Grown men in high-vis jackets, in the daytime in a park. High-vis jackets. Good. It meant I could viz them. Without a word to Gary, I got up and started walking in their direction. Just walking, trying hard to make angry, heavy steps, but trainers on grass always sound pleasant. In a straight line between us, desired peace, and them, men old enough to know better, I walked. The sort of furious walk you do when you know why you're mad, but you're not sure what will come out of your mouth when you get there, as every part of you was just concentrating on walking with purpose. What I did say when I got there was more casual than I'd expected it to be. They barely made eye contact before I blurted out, "Could you be a bit more antisocial?" As soon as those words hit the air, I was worried I hadn't chandlered it up enough and they'd start shitting in the field as proof that, yes, they could be more antisocial. Neither Hiver's twat said a word to me. So I turned on my heel and walked in the same way back to my alarmed, and I'm assuming turned on, husband. But brilliantly, exquisitely, they won. Because for my entire walk back, they hovered their remote-controlled plane a foot above my head. It was hilarious. And that is the end of episode 57. I hope I made you laugh. I hope you're having a good day. Take care of yourselves. Have a biscuit. That always helps me. Stay in the house. Wash your fucking hands. And I'll see you tomorrow. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Hello, it's Sarah Millican here. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with all of my latest videos. Don't forget to like, pop a comment below, and why not stick around to watch a few more? I'm sure those emails or those dishes can wait a bit longer.